It's time for another new comic unboxing. Today, we're going to look at the DCBS shipment of books I got for May 2021. Check it out. Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name's Chris, and this is Northgarden Comics. Today is my new comic book day, and for me, that comes just once a month in the form of a shipment that I get from DCBS. That is the online service that I have been using for a little over 4 years now to pre-order all of the new comic books that I get. And the biggest reason that I use them is because of the savings off of cover price. I'll typically pay 40 to 50% off cover price for each of the books that I get, and that allows me to stretch my comic book budget a lot further than if I were paying cover price. And then I do pay a little bit extra, 30 cents specifically per comic, to get a Mylar bag and board with each of those. And that helps me to kind of get that Mylar and start to incorporate that into my collection without having to place some big expensive order online for Mylar supplies as well. So few of the reasons why I use a service like that, and I do get just their once a month standard shipping. And then when that shipment arrives, I flip the camera on, we open that together, get a chance to share those books with you, hear the new books that you're collecting perhaps, and then also tell you a little bit about a service like DCBS in case you've been considering something like that for yourself. Now, in just a minute, we are going to flip the camera around and get to that unboxing. But before we do, I want to pause and say, if you're new to the channel, special welcome to you. Thank you so much for checking it out. If you like comic book and comic book related content like back issue comic book hauls, omnibus reviews, or today's case, new comic book unboxings, then please take a second and hit that subscribe button. And as you watch, if you see something you like, give it a thumbs up. And please let me know your thoughts and questions, or just say hi down below. I also want to say to one viewer in particular, Richard, if you're watching, just want to point out that right there. And hopefully that will let your mind rest. I know it's letting my mind rest as well now that I've taken that upside down sticker and made it right side up. So now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, let's spin the camera around and we'll get to these books. All right, here is the box, and we'll go ahead and get this open. It's always taped very securely. It's a little bit, I don't know if you can tell, it's a little bit bulging this time, so we'll see. And that's because there's more than just single issue books in here this time. And I'll show you this. You can see here's my block of books here, and they've got the kind of blown foam insulation around the edges there. Sure, not so great for the environment, but is very great for keeping that package secure in shipment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out all the rest of the way. So let's go ahead and get this block out of here. As you can see, nice and securely packed here. Not a super thick stack of books. That omnibus was what was taking up the bulk of that space, but this is nice and secure. So now I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of there. The big bag, I may even take them out of the Mylar bags just to cut down on glare, and then we'll take a look at the books. All right, got everything out of their bags. We're going to kick things off with this freebie that I get every month. I love getting these free previews. You can get these in your local comic shop for free as well. I always add one to my shopping cart in each order. The only downside to it is that it bumps my shipping date by a week. If you don't include the previews, you have standard once a month shipping, I believe your order ships in week 4 of whatever the calendar month is. But when you order previews, and I assume that includes this Marvel free previews, not just the big thick previews catalog, but if you get the previews, then your order ships in week 5 for 5 week months, or I guess that translates into week 1 if it's just a 4-week month. So long story short, ships a week later when you get previews, but that's okay. It's only a week delay, and I'm already getting my books just once a month anyway, so adding that free previews is really no extra pain for me. So I always get that. Looking forward to this, and I am looking forward to this Fantastic Four 60th
anniversary special. I think it's going to be an oversized, lots of different artists, writers working on that. And I've been enjoying the Fantastic Four volume thus far. So that should be a good one. And that's coming out in August. Here we've got the next issue in the ongoing series Hellions from X Men. This is part of the Hellfire Gala story. I don't know, I think it's like a 12-parter or something, and maybe each of the titles has one issue, but they'll overlap and tie in one night of madness, mayhem, craziness, leading up to the next chapter for X Men. And we do have the new X Men title kicking off in... Is that this month, June? Or is that in July? I think it's in July that kicks off with a new #1. So not everything rebooting, but we'll see how long Hellions goes at Hellfire Gala. Here is Non-Stop Spider-Man, issue #3. I don't know how long this is supposed to go. I've seen 5 issues solicited, and I've got all 5, up to #5 on order. I think that's coming out in July. But I haven't seen anything beyond that. I looked in my CLZ app, and I don't see anything beyond that solicited. I didn't see an issue 6 in August's Marvel solicitations. I don't mean the free previews magazine that I have here, but I try to look for those following month's solicitations online and check a place like, newsarama.com, which I think recently changed their name. But sometimes online you can see those solicitations even before the previews comes out. But I did not see an issue 6 yet, so we'll see if this goes beyond 5 or if it's just taking a break and then coming back. But really like Chris Bachalo's art, and Spider-Man, of course, is a great character, so this is going to be a good story to read, I think, when I do read it. And I will wait till I have all 5 and read the whole thing at once. Going to be several of these in this shipment this month, the Hellfire Gala. Here's the Marauders issue, and this is a little bit more of an oversized issue at a $4.99 cover price. And this is one of Dowderman's covers for the design costumes that what all the X-Men were wearing for this event. I don't know, these costumes remind me of if you ever saw the movies for the Hunger Games, the way people at the Capitol would dress. So X Men #20, that's a cool variant. Mike Del Mundo variant, pretty humorous. Of course, you got Mystique photocopying her face over and over again, but shape-shifting, of course, each time. So pretty fun. Then you've got this, I think it's going to be a 5-issue limited series, X Corp. And I don't know, I just got this as a #1 to get it. We'll see how it is. If any of you have read this yet, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm not expecting this to be fantastic. It's, I don't want to judge it too harshly before I read it, but I don't know how great it's going to be, so that's why I kind of went conservative. Got the first issue, and then we'll see where that is, and maybe I'll pre-order any subsequent issues, but the ones I don't get, maybe I'll look for in discount bins down the road. Daredevil, continuing to be a good run here. I mention this one every month. Loving Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto on this run, so just the next installment there. And we got Wolverine's ongoing, issue 12. This has been a good storyline, just an interesting matchup between Wolverine and the vampires. Kind of cool. They want his blood because of the healing factor and its added properties and the benefit that brings to them. But this has just been a cool storyline. You've had Omega Red, you got the vampires, so looking forward to continuing that one. Here we got Way of X, another one of these. I'm thinking it's going to be a limited run. I don't know if it's going to be 5 issues or what, but this focusing on Nightcrawler, and he's kind of exploring, investigating some of the lesser explored parts of Krakoa, some of their customs and laws and practices with the resurrection protocols and how mutants with no powers can regain their powers. So I haven't read issue 1 yet, but I'll get this just because I like Nightcrawler, and it seems like it'll be an interesting concept, if nothing else. Then we've got Beast Wars here, shifting over to IDW. This is a recently launched title, up to issue number 4, and tying into the 1990s TV show, though not following it exactly. It is picking up some of those themes and obviously characters from the show and running with them, introducing some new characters, one in particular called Nyx, NYX, on the Maximal side, and some of the themes they are continuing with is the, the rebellion, not the rebellion, but the jump from the Predacons to the Maximals that Dinobot makes, and I think that's a great cover. That's just the basic A cover by, is it Josh Burcham who did that? That's a cool one. He had some of the best episodes too of that, at least the early seasons of Beast Wars. Here we've got Transformers. This is the ongoing title up to issue number 30. This is the B cover. Artist here, their last name is Tramontano. 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 Cyclonus. I've got to do some catching up on this Transformers title as well. I think I'm about 10 issues behind now, so I've got to get caught up. A little bit out of order, but this is Transformers issue 29. So the previous issue, that's the E.J. Sue cover, cover B. And again, I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but a couple things that can cause you to get 2 issues of the same title in a month. One is the most obvious. 2 issues of that title came out in the same month. But another reason that can happen, because Transformers, I think, only gets published once a month, it'll be how the dates line up. Basically, if something came out early enough, say in this first week of June, I don't know when each of these came out, but basically if it winds up in that same window of time that particular shipment is shipping, you may get the like the May book in this case, and then maybe that first week of June book if it came out, but something like that. It usually has to do with when the dates line up, and you can sometimes get more than one issue of a title in the same shipment. And then the last single issue, this one has been delayed in coming. I ordered this, all 5 parts of this 5-issue limited series, several months ago now, it seems like, and it's just been a big gap between issue 2 and now issue 3, so hopefully issues 4 and 5 won't have those delays. Another reason I'm glad that I hold off on reading some of these until I have more. So I have not read issues 1 or 2 yet. Probably would have forgotten what happened already and would have to reread them anyway. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'll wait till I have all 5 and then I'll read this Transformers Escape miniseries. And then, like I said, that does it for the single issues. But one of the first things you saw as I was doing the unboxing, I don't want to neglect to bring out, and that is this right here. Let me actually adjust the camera a little bit. Give it a little bit more height because this is pretty big. This is my second ever omnibus. The first one I got a few months ago, it was the X Men Inferno omnibus, and now I have the X Men Age of Apocalypse. It is shrink wrapped. I'm not going to open it in this video. I will do that in a separate video, and we'll give a good look through of this and all of its contents. I ordered this one because, well, it fit the criteria that I'm using for ordering omnibus or not. I don't want to get a ton of omnibus necessarily. I'm still primarily a single issue collector, but I do love the omnibus format. I love the oversized art and the collected format of pulling it together, whether it's an event or a key volume of a great title. And it also just looks great on the shelf, and it gives you that nice convenient access where you just pull it off the shelf rather than have to go digging through boxes to get a bunch of single issues out to read them. But I have been reserving my omnibus collecting for my favorite characters and my favorite titles, favorite events, stories, etc. So The Inferno omnibus that I got last time, I got because that was my first X-Men event story in the sense, it was when I was first starting to collect X-Men, and I have a lot of those single issues, so that seemed pretty significant to collect as an omnibus. And then this one here, Age of Apocalypse, this is definitely been my favorite event story for the X-Men. This was right at the height of when I was collecting in the 90s. I was in college when this came out, and my roommate and I both devoured this series and went to the comic book store every week to get those single issues. I think it ran across like 10 different X-Men titles at the time. This was a fantastic series, so a very fitting addition to my omnibus collection. So, like I said, I actually have 2 videos coming up later this month on this event. I will do a video just on this omnibus, but I will also do an event that focuses on all of the single issues from this event. And I've actually, you can't see them, they're over there, but I actually pulled those out already and plan to film all those and look through all the covers from this great event series from the 90s. And it was, you know, it was franchise defining. This was huge back then. So looking forward to reading this again in its entirety in this format, but wanted to close this out by showing you this great collected edition.
All right, that's going to do it for me, and that's going to wrap up this new comic book unboxing, showing you all the books I got for May 2021. Now, what about you? What new books are you collecting and reading these days? Any of the books that I've got, are they on your pull list as well? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And remember, for the X-Men Omnibus, I will do actually 2 separate videos. One's going to focus on the omnibus itself, and we'll look at the contents there. But then I'm also going to do a video that just features all of the single issues from the Age of Apocalypse event series. So stay tuned for those down the road. Now, if you're not quite ready for the fun to stop, I have hand-selected a couple videos here for you to check out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.